I'm not answering any information.
I mean, you have to.
I do not. You can give me some information of who you are and let me talk to your boss.
I work for Manor Apartments. I'm the regional manager. I've knocked on just about every door that lives here. I've worked for this company for 21 years. And if you don't want to answer my questions, you can't live here.
If you can't give me your boss's information?
We don't give that information out. I'm the only person that you're going to be able to talk to.
Okay.
I mean, that's the beginning and the end of it.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. That's no problem. She's not good. But if she doesn't,
stated before she went in that I wasn't coming in, but she has a key to the office and wonders how that works. Again, here's her vehicle backed up to the office. She's backed up to the office in a very suspicious manner. I will resume videoing when they come back out. I'm Shauna Parsons. I'm a resident at Manor Apartments in Parkersburg, West Virginia. They are managed by Pison Management Company, P-I-S-O-N, out of Charleston, West Virginia. And on January the 12th, the property manager was let go for possible theft, is what they called it. And after being let go, came to the office and wrecked all of our rent records, as well as stealing all of the keys to our apartments. The regional manager, which I've never seen in the 2.5 years that I've lived here, then showed up to secure the records. And after doing that, went to one of the residents' apartments, beating on her door. And when she answered, telling her that she needed to get the fuck out now, that she was evicted, that she hadn't paid her rent in 3 months. And then she physically assaults the resident, having with her another woman holding a hammer, threatening to harm the resident even further with the hammer. The gentleman that she had with her at the time then pushed her off of the resident, and the police were notified. I have the police report. She states she was here because of what had happened to the records, and when the officer asked how she knew the resident hadn't paid her rent because of the theft, she made no comment, but then stated she was evicting the neighbors just for being nosy. She then took off and hadn't made an appearance until today. She messages me next, claiming I had unpaid rent, which was bogus, and I'll share those texts with you guys later. So now she is here. Last night, the meter was ripped off the meter box at the office. After contacting the electric company, they came out and replaced the meter. But now Jodi is here today. And I'm going to show you how she has her vehicle pulled up to the office. Now, that is awful suspicious. You would assume pulling a vehicle up to the office in that manner would be a way to conceal getting records out of the office. The sheriff's department was notified that this woman is here, and we're not sure that she is still an actual employee of the company. I posted that video to my page, and you guys can see what she said. She did say that there is embezzlement happening here, so this is no longer speculation. This is straight out of her mouth. She has been here today knocking on all the residents' doors, trying to find out who lives there and how they paid their rent and such, stating to one resident that she was the new owner, telling people that if they paid in cash that they're going to have to pay their deposits back. All these things. She then had a man and a woman, the same woman holding the hammer when she assaulted the resident here, and the man sat in the pickup the whole entire time. These are intimidation tactics. They are running this place like wannabe mobsters. The residents are living in unsuitable conditions with mold, faulty appliances, no carpet, ceilings caving in, all kinds of things. The HUD inspector then showed up because he had heard that there was power shut off to residents' apartments last night, which one resident did lose power from the meter being ripped off. I have contacted the FBI, the GOA, the Attorney General's office, tried filing a form with FraudNet. I've contacted so many organizations, and even WTAP, as well as the Parkersburg News and Sentinel. Nobody is doing anything here. Nobody is being a voice for the voiceless. My neighbor was going to be illegally evicted by the property manager because she had rented his apartment to a couple across the street that was in a one-bedroom. She rented it to them, and then she told them that she was made to rent to him instead after taking their deposit. Well, they wanted their deposit back, and they told her that they were going to take her to court. So then she came up with a bogus story to evict him, saying that he couldn't be in a one-bedroom, in a three-bedroom, just one person, even though on his HUD, his girls were on his HUD, and HUD was paying his rent, and he was in the process of getting his girls out of CPS custody. Well, because she had heard I was asking around about who was on whose leash, she called me trying to intimidate me, telling me what was going on between her and him was none of my business, and I couldn't question anybody that was on anybody's lease, and it was none of my business. I then started asking questions about who was saying he had to be evicted, and she got caught up. She knew then that I knew she was lying, and I told her that if this all just went away, that if he could stay, I wouldn't need to talk to anybody. And he, of course, is still here. She did not evict him. He went to the office the next day telling her that she was telling him that he was allowed to stay, and he also had a ton of repairs that needed done to his apartment to pass this HUD inspection. And her husband was the maintenance man. Now, he worked a 40-hour job and somehow was the maintenance man here. So they didn't want to do those repairs as well. So she was going to evict him. His girls just got out of foster care permanently the other day. Now, had she got away with this, the man would have been homeless, he would have lost his HUD, and his kids would have still been in CPS custody. This is sickening. It's heartless. It's unimaginable. And this is what's happening to the residents here. That's just one story. There was a veteran that lived here that was $5 behind on his rent. As I heard, Jodi, the regional manager, went to this man's apartment telling him he had to get out, taking his keys and throwing all of his belongings to the dumpster. The man then, having nowhere to go, was sleeping at the dumpster and froze to death. These are the heartless crimes happening by Pison Management Company. That is an LIHTC program that receives federal money through the IRS. And this is how they're treating us. It is sickening, and somebody needs to be aware of what's happening here. There is huge embezzlement trying to be covered up at the moment. And I am wanting somebody to do something, wanting to make sure that this doesn't happen to any other resident again, because it's heartless. It's sickening. Nobody received their deposits back from living here. Nobody has gotten their deposits back. A woman who needed her deposit to get her and her young son into another place didn't get her deposit back, didn't get a reason as to why she wasn't getting it back, and had to stay with somebody for months to come up with the money to be able to get into another place. There are so many stories of just heartless things happening, and nobody's doing anything. So I'm taking to social media, and I would like for everybody to share this with everybody you know, and get somebody down here. Get somebody here to be a voice. We need somebody to be our voice.